In length, and you guys know better than I, it is a tough racetrack.
You can see how it's egg-shaped. This is turns 1 and 2, banked 25 degrees, a much shorter corner than 3 and 4. Going down the back straightaway, which is 1,228 feet long.
And then you go into turn 3, a wide sweeping turn. One of the toughest turns in all of auto racing, banked 23 degrees. It's impossible to set a race car up on this track where you get around both turns good. And then you come off of turn 4 on the front stretch. The length of it is 1,228 feet.
And that describes for you the lady in black, the track too tough to tame, Darlington Raceway. Here's a Lewis, North Carolina, outside the Motorcraft 4, driven by Jeff Bodine, number 15. He's from Chemung, New York. Second row, Rusty Wallace from St. Louis, Missouri in the Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac number 2. And the Daytona winner, the Interstate Battery Chevrolet number 18, driven by Dale Jarrett from Hickory, North Carolina. Third row, rookie Jeff Gordon from Pittsboro, Indiana in the DuPont Chevrolet number 24, alongside Mark Martin from Batesville, Arkansas in the Valvoline Ford number 6. Then comes Ernie Irvin from Modesto, California in the number 4 Kodak Film Chevrolet. Morgan Shepherd starts in 8th position in the Citgo Ford number 21. Davey Allison goes 9th. He's from Hueytown, Alabama, drives the Hamilton Ford number 28. Then the 27 car, the McDonald's Ford, driven by Hut Strickland from Calera, Alabama. 11th starting position goes to Jimmy Spencer from Berwick, Pennsylvania, the Meineke Ford number 12. And then the 55 Jasper Engines US Air car, driven by Ted Musgrave from Franklin, Wisconsin. The 13th starting position goes to Ricky Rudd from Chesapeake, Virginia in the Tide Chevrolet number 5. Then the number 7 Hooters Ford, driven by defending Winston Cup champion Alan Kulwicki. Kyle Petty goes next in the Mel Yellow Pontiac car number 42. Then Ken Schrader from Fenton, Missouri in the Kodiak Chevrolet. Terry Labonte will start inside row 9 in the Kellogg Chevrolet number 14. Then Sterling Marlin, the Rebustus Ford, car number 8. 19th starting spot goes to Brett Bodine in the Quaker State Ford number 26. And the 20th spot goes to Taylorsville, North Carolina's Harry Gant, number 33, the Skull Bandit Chevrolet. And as we look at the rest of the starting lineup, the cars are still on the racetrack, and we'll go at least one more before getting green.
And you see Derek Cope in the 12th row. He will be the last car pitting on the front straightaway. All these other cars will be pitting on the back.
See Bobby Hillen, Dick Trickle back there. Bob Shack, relatively new to Winston Cup racing.
There are the 39 cars. Norm Benning occupies the lone spot in row number 20. Our in-car cameras today being carried by Rusty Wallace. He's lined up right behind the pole sitter, Dale Earnhardt. And ahead of him on the right is Jeff Bodine. He's coming out of turn number 2, going down the backstretch. We also have an in-car camera in Brett Bodine's Quaker State Ford, as he has Terry Labonte right in front of him and Ken Schrader. Morgan Shepherd also will carry an in-car camera. He's signaling to the driver behind him that the course is ready for competition, and we will be going green here in just a moment as the cars are now approaching turn number 4.
Now, Bob, there's one car that had to go to the back of the field that was not scheduled to be back there because he's high in the point standing. Jimmy Spencer in the Meineke Merkler's Ford wrecked the car here yesterday morning in practice, had to go to a backup car, so he's starting at the rear of the field. However, he did maintain his front stretch fitting assignment.
Here comes the field off of corner number 4. They're under command of pole sitter Dale Earnhardt. A huge crowd is here. The green flag waves, and we are underway with the Transouth Financial 500. There for 5th position. Jeff Gordon occupies it. Mark Martin made a bid on the backstretch, drops in behind him, and Morgan Shepherd comes along also. The leader of the race is Dale Earnhardt, followed by Brett Bodine and then Rusty Wallace.
We're looking from inside Morgan Shepherd's car right directly behind Mark Martin as he watches Martin getting underneath Jeff Gordon coming off turn 2. Has position down the back straightaway.
And he'll have the advantage going into turn 3. Let's see if Gordon backs off. Yes, he does. That was a smart thing to do because Mark Martin had the preferred line.
And here comes Morgan Shepherd now to the inside of Jeff Gordon as Jeff battles back on the outside, maintains that position.
I tell you what, Jeff Gordon doing some serious racing here at the Old Lady. And Derek Cope trying to get alongside it. He does get alongside Morgan Shepherd.
It's Ernie Irvin in the car number 4 making that pass. Both yellow cars.
There's the McDonald's car. That's Hut Strickland. And the camera here is mounted right underneath the rear spoiler. So we're looking back on Hut Strickland's car from a camera connected to the car on the rear spoiler.
And that's on Morgan Shepherd's car.
Ooh, man, oh man, Hut almost hit the wall coming off turn 4 as we look back at him.
Almost striped her coming off 4.
Mark Martin is on the move here. James Hilton making an early pit stop. Looks like some smoke on the right side of that car.
Yeah, we can see smoke coming out of the engine.
There is Dale Earnhardt, the leader of the race, and Jeff Bodine running second, about 5 car lengths behind. Rusty Wallace is in 3rd spot, followed by Mark Martin and then Dale Jarrett.
Mark Martin has moved from his 6th starting position up to 4th now. He was really fast in practice here yesterday afternoon. And of course, he was very fast, as we mentioned in the Open, in the Southern 500 here last year.
Let's further explain this qualifying thing. The rule was that if you are a rookie, you cannot participate in first day qualifying.
I said qualifying,
right.
Not first day, yes.
And they changed the rule to read you have to be a track rookie. You must never have competed here before.
And let's face it, Jeff Gordon, Bobby Labonte, and Kenny Walsh, they're not rookies at this racetrack. They've got plenty of experience here.
And one thing that Jeff Gordon talked about was exactly what you talked about, Benny, and how he's going to have to maintain his cool. He's, of course, he grew up in short track racing. And here is a battle for 3rd position as Mark Martin has drawn alongside of Rusty Wallace down the backstretch and takes over 3rd position.
Last fall at the Mountain Dew Southern 500, this 6th car was the class of the field, and it looks like he hasn't lost too much over there.
No, he hasn't been. I expect he has the same setup under that Valvoline Ford, and he is on the move.
There are 2 teams, in my opinion, this year that have such an incredible mental attitude toward the championship this year. These 2 teams right here, Mark Martin's Jack Roush team and Rusty Wallace's Roger Penske team.
They are pumped up. There is no doubt about it. Have good fast race cars, good drivers, and good crews.
First 2, however, have separated themselves quite a bit from Martin and Rusty. First 2, of course, are Earnhardt and Bodine.
As a result of the rain we had here over the weekend, the drivers didn't get quite as much practice as they normally would. They did get a practice yesterday after the Mark III Vans 200 Busch Grand National race, but it was not as long as normal because it got dark.
And it rained overnight, and so they're dealing with a completely green racetrack as they take the green flag today.
And I tell you what, all the fellas you talked to in the pit area thought the 3 car was just going to blast away. They said Earnhardt is flying, but yet I'm impressed with Jeff Bodine. He's hanging around on that back bumper. Bud Moore's cars always run well here. Bud owns the car number 15, the Motorcraft Ford of Jeff Bodine, and he's about to make a pass. Look at that. Right alongside Earnhardt, they're side by side, and they touch.
Ooh.
Sideways, both of them.
Coming up,
and they touch again.
Down the backstretch. Paint trading here in the early going of this race.
Boy, now Earnhardt stayed after every driver we've seen with somebody on the inside and backed off going into turn 3. Earnhardt didn't back off. He just stayed right out there. And they're still side by side.
Now Jeff backs off a little bit and falls in behind Dale. All that has allowed Mark Martin to close in very closely in 3rd spot.
Man, oh man, watch as they come off the 2nd corner. They go up, touch. Both the cars get sideways. They straighten out. Now they go back and touch again.
And now here goes Mark Martin trying to take over 2nd from Jeff, and he does.
Yeah, he has the fastest car, I believe. He rammed them down from back in his 6th starting position all the way up to 2nd now.
Man, we are only 10 laps into this race and have seen some great battling on the racetrack and bumping and banging already. We'll take a break and be back with more live coverage from Darlington.